So getting nice and comfy, give the shoulders a roll. And I'm hoping this mic is okay for the live session as well. So as I said before, just give me a wave because I can see all of you at the moment. So we're going to come into our Hridaya Mudra. So we're going to bring the index finger into the knuckle of the thumb. So this is connecting the heart, the energy center of the heart. So index finger to the knuckle of the thumb, and then the tip of the thumb is going to go to the tips of the middle finger and the ring finger. So it's kind of like that, yeah, but with the index finger in the knuckle of the thumb, all right? And now the palms facing up. What this does is this just connects to the meridian or the energetic line of the heart, so we can tap into the energy of the heart center, and we can send that loving energy down to baby, down into the womb base, and just start focusing on that breath, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed, releasing any facial expressions, relaxing the jaw, and if it feels better, then having your eyes closed, just gaze down the bridge of your nose. Focus on the spot right in front of you and allow the space that's surrounding your peripheral vision just to blur out. So as I mentioned, the passage called Touch the Eternal. My friend, a clerk in a local bookstore, and I were sitting on a bench one evening about 20 feet from the edge of the Pacific Ocean. A few stars and a tiny silver moon softly lit the sky. We were drinking coffee and staring at the sea. I like the ocean, my friend said. I need to see it. It's nature's way of reminding us of eternity. Sometimes we zoom in on the details of our lives and all we can see is the small picture. Maybe the problems, the issues, the specifics of what we need to do right here, right now and today. These moments are real. They're at the heart of our lives. It's good to stay focused and attend to them. But sometimes we need to step back and see the big picture too. Visit places that remind you of eternity when you can. See the mountains, see the stars. Walk among the ancient redwoods. Stand at the ocean's door. Let nature and life remind you of eternity in ways that speak to your soul. Visit places that remind you of eternity when you can. See the mountains, see the stars, walk among the ancient redwoods. Stand at the ocean's door. Let nature and life remind you of eternity in ways that speak to your soul. So before I've touched upon creating your inner sanctuary. So holding a picture in your mind, and this can be an imaginary place or a place which is real, a place where you feel really safe, you feel comfortable, you feel eternal. Becoming a mother is a very special and personal journey. It's a time of great change and transformation. It's a time for us as women to discover and to reconnect to our innate life-giving powers. A woman nurtures her unborn baby during the 9 months of pregnancy, and at the same time she is growing and nurturing herself into a new role, that of motherhood. Growing another human being inside your body is a true miracle. We are goddesses. We are respected, We are powerful. So set an intention right now for whatever's resonating with you at the moment. And you don't have to use anything. If nothing's really coming to mind, you can just be, I am here. My baby and I are here. Maybe bring the hands into that yoni mudra, connecting thumb and index finger and placing them at the womb space. And direct an intention or an affirmation down to your baby, or an agreement that when both you and your baby are ready, the time will come for you to meet. Cherishing this moment and finding gratitude for this really intimate and personal time with yourself and with your unborn baby. Two more breaths. And then we're going to bring the hands to prayer at the heart space. And we're going to breathe in, just reach the arms up. So just going to do a little bit of arm movement. Release them down, breathe out. Breathe in, lift up. Keep the shoulders soft. Breathe out, bring them down. If you need to give the legs a wiggle in between sides, you can. So we're just going to breathe in to reach the arms up and breathe out to lower them down. Nice and simple.
So apologies, the sound of my microphone did put out intermittently, but the sound is going to come back on. So just keep inhaling to lift the arms and exhaling to lower. And be mindful that you don't find yourself leaning forward or leaning back. So imagine or visualize the crown of the head, the throat, and base of the spine all stacked in one line. And then in a moment we're going to start taking some open twists. So you're going to keep the same hand to leg, and then let's go to the right first. So your right hand comes down to the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, take the twist to the left. So you're not taking closed twists, which I believe I go back over anyway when the sound comes back on. But just inhaling to open through the heart and exhaling to always open twist. And here we go. The moment I realise, yeah, there we go.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Run out actually. Sorry. So reaching up to, I don't know where we got to when you lost sound. Great when a microphone works. So cross-legged, reaching the arms up, breathe in and breathe out. Take your opening to the right. So you're keeping it open, you're not closing off the twist. If you're used to closed twists, they're here, but we don't do that in pregnancy. So just moving from side to side. Three more. So it's three more left and right. Last one. And finish back in center. Hands free prayer, heart space. Lovely. Let's extend the legs out in front of us and just give the ankles a roll, maybe the wrists a roll with this. A little fun one that I try and do is see if you can get the feet to roll the other way. So take opposite directions of your feet in your hands. I always end up just going exactly the same way. No, I think I'm going the other way. Right. And we're going to have the soles of the feet flat on the floor, sitting nice and tall still. So your back, as I said before, visualize the crown of your head above the spine. So we're not back, we're not like sitting too far forward, just nice and upright. So hands are going to come onto the shoulders, and we're going to just roll the shoulders a few times. Now, with the legs, I'd like you to imagine you're pushing your feet into the tops of some boots that are a little bit too big for you, just so you've got that security of your feet. And you're engaging the core. And let's go the other way with the elbows and the shoulders. And then see if you can take opposite direction again. And then the other way. Oh no, there we go. Yeah, I lost it. All right, hands are going to come behind the thighs. And we're going to take an inhale just to grow through the crown of the head. Shoulder blades are drawing down the back, so taking a little seated cow stretch. As you breathe out, just round through the back and just allow the chin to come towards the chest. So we're not taking a really, really big movement here. We're just inhaling to lift and lengthen, getting a little bit of mobility through the spine, breathing out, rounding forward. Breathe in, lift and grow. And breathe out. At your own pace. So we've worked on just some really gentle rotation of the spine. And we're working on a little bit of flexion now as well. So the spine, as you are most likely experiencing, is changing just to accommodate for your growing baby. So it's good to just work through it a little bit to give it a massage and release any tension that might have been kind of built from the stacking of the spine. Lovely, and nice and tall. Let's take the legs out a little bit wider. And you can use a cushion underneath the knees here if you find that the knees tend to lock. Hands, you know what's coming if you've done the normal classes. So we're going to just churn the mill all the way around. Now this one, if you are on a block or support, or as Marie uses, a washing up bowl, you might want to come onto the floor instead and just keep the knees bent. If that feels better. But if you've got the availability to straighten the legs, then obviously do. And notice where you can feel this movement. Where does it feel good? Maybe in the lower back, maybe the sides of the waist. Maybe it feels good just to move with your breath this morning. Maybe you can find a little bit more length through the backs of the legs by flexing the feet. And then we're going to swap directions, and we're going to swap the hand clasp as well. So when we go on to the other side, we just want to make it nice and even Stevens. Lovely. Okay, last one. And let's come on to our hands and our knees. So transitioning, legs come together. We're going to take the feet over to one side, so maybe take them to your right, just so you're with me, and then I can do my right at the same time. Hands come over to the left, and you're going to walk around from onto hands and knees. But you'll always find a way that feels best. But as I've said before previously, it's good to just get into the habit of getting onto hands and knees from there. So knees hip width or maybe a little bit wider. Up to you whether you want to tuck the toes or have them untucked. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Your middle fingers are going to point out to the top corners of your mat. And that's just going to get a little bit of external rotation to create a bit more space through the top of the back. So you're just going to rock from side to side and draw the abdominals in, so you're hugging baby in, giving them a cuddle, but we're just releasing any pressure off the back, off the spine. So we kind of imagine baby in a little hammock, swinging side to side. One day we'll be doing that with palm trees around us. That could be your sanctuary. That's what you're into, palm trees and hammocks. It's definitely a bit of me, 100%. And we're going to add some little circular movements into this. So some barrel movements, so just rounding all the way, getting that little bit of rotation through the spine again, keeping the neck nice and still for the time being. You can come onto fists at any point, you can come onto your elbows, your forearms at any point as well if your wrists get a little bit sore. And let's reverse direction. Feel free to bring your head into this now if that feels good. So really working around. If you've got quite a lot of space that needs to be made through the body, you might feel some little clicks and clunks here. Okay, and just sit back in child's pose. So we're going to open the knees about mat's width. Toes are going to come together and sit the bottom back to the heels. You can use, face this way, use a pillow or a cushion or anything if you need to, excuse me, between your heels and your bottom. And I'll give you a little extra support. So depending on the space that you have available, you might not be able to bring your head onto the mat. So that's where you can use a block or a book or another cushion to support you here, or use your forearms instead. And start breathing into the back space of the ribs. So as baby starts growing, you may notice yourself getting a little bit more out of breath. And that's just because there's a little bit more compression on the organs, pushing the organs upwards, and there's not as much space to breathe, but we have a lot of space in the back of our lungs. So I'd like us just to really fill into the back of the rib cage here. And that air and that energy that we can circulate around the body just by breathing slightly differently should be quite a relief if you are feeling a bit tight-chested. If you ever have a cold, you get a little bit bunged up as well. One more breath here. And then come up onto hands and knees. Once again, pop your support out the way. So knees underneath hips are a little bit wider. Cat-cow. So for this one, we're going to reverse the breath of what we do in traditional yoga. So we're going to breathe in as you round through the back, and as you're breathing in, lift up through the pelvic floor. So you're lifting the front and the back passage. As you breathe out, release, lift the tailbone and just reach the heart forward. So don't worry about going all the way down with the navel, just reach the heart forward, gazing up. Breathing in, round through the back, lift pelvic floor, hug baby. Breathe out, let it go. What you might like to do with the breath pattern of how it's moving in, breathing in through the nose and breathing slowly out through the mouth. allowing yourself to get used to the pattern of breath with the pelvic floor. This will help with labour, hopefully. Anyway, everyone's different. But to create that connection, that mind-body connection, when you're breathing out, you're releasing. But we're also working to strengthen the pelvic floor as well, which is going to help after your baby is born and also during labour. Last one. Okay, tucking the toes, walking the hands back to the knees, set the soles of the feet flat onto the floor. Now this is where you can use blocks underneath your hands here. Make enough space for baby between the legs. That's if here isn't available for you, so always be here. This is really nice anyway, even if you're not pregnant, it's just like, yeah, it just feels really good. So again, let baby hang out and just sway from side to side. And then we're going to walk the hands up to the thighs, lifting up a little bit, rounding through the back, tucking the chin, spread the toes, take a breath in, lift the pelvic floor, and breathe out as you release the tailbone back, gazing forward and up, and the shoulder blades are drawing down the back. I'm just going to tip you up because I know you can't see me. So breathing in to round through the back. And breathing out, release. Let's do one more breathe in, round, tuck the chin, tuck the bottom, lift pelvic floor, and breathe out. Reach tailbone back, reach heart forward, crown of the head up. And then roll up, slowly vertebra by vertebra. We've been down on the floor for a while, so take your time, take a breath and reach the arms up. And as you breathe out, bring the hands down through prayer. Left hand's going to come to the heart, and right hand's going to come onto baby. And just take some hip rolls here. Again, if you're a little bit tight in the hips at the moment, or you need to create space, you might get a nice cheeky little clip with the hips. You might have already heard mine. And this isn't just about the hips as well. This is about feeling secure and stable through the feet upon the earth. We're working through lengthening the backs of the legs as we go around back, the sides and the fronts, working through the fronts of the hips and the thighs. Keeping the shoulders soft. The breath soft, breath calm. Maybe noticing any movements right now from your baby. Are they communicating with you at all? Are they saying like, yeah, I really like this, or no, stop. Let's go the other way through the hips. All of these movements that you're doing right now are going to be great for when baby is born as well, because they'll link the feeling of these movements with that sense of calm, sense of peace. Okay, and let's find some stillness. All right, so standing, coming to the backs of our mats, have your blocks or your books, and just pop them between. I'm just gonna pop this in. Sorry, lovely armpit for you to look at. Pop the block between the legs. Just a little bit of leg work. So back to the mat. If you don't have a block, don't worry. As I said, you can use a book or just anything that you can squeeze between the legs. Feet are going to be apart, of course. And we're going to squeeze the block, bring the hands all the way up, take a breath in, lift the heels off the floor, and breathe out, sink down, bend the knees. Breathe in, lift up off the heels. Breathe out, come down. Now, if you feel better to keep the hands at baby here, or bring the hands to heart, or just have the hands on the hips, you can. Especially if you get a little bit dizzy, bring the hands down. So we're working through the legs, hugging baby in as well. Tucking the tail so we don't find ourselves sticking our bottoms out. And this in turn is also working through the pelvic floor a little bit as well. 2 more. Here's 1. And 2. And release, pop the block down. Take swaying palm tree, lovely palm trees. Reach the arms up, breathe in. Breathe out, guide the right arm down, left arm lifts up. Breathe in, both arms up. Breathe out, reach over to the other side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, knees are soft. Inhale. Exhale. Keep working through this from side to side. Be mindful of the tailbone as well. So as baby grows, you might find that you start tipping forward a little bit, which is natural. But see if you can work on just tucking the tail a little bit more to simulate that length in the spine. One more. And release the arms, give the rolls, shoulders a roll. Let's take our sun salutation now. So backs of the mat, I'm just going to tip you down because I know once I get down you're not going to be able to see me. So back to the mat, feet apart, so hip width are a little bit wider. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up. As you breathe out, bring the hands down onto the thighs. Give the toes a wiggle. Same as before, breathe in, round through the back. And as you breathe out, walk the hands down the legs, lift the heels, set the hands onto the floor, come onto hands and knees. Take a rock side to side. Up to you, depending on how you're feeling, you can take a round of cat-cow here, or you can come with me for 3 push-ups if you'd like to. So our push-ups, we're only bending down halfway, and we're going to keep the elbows close to the sides of the body. So you're going to breathe in, push down halfway, breathe out, lift. Breathe in halfway, maybe not even halfway, a little bit less. Breathe out, push. Last one, inhale. Breathe out. From here, we're going to reach the hips forward, but not lots, only a tiny bit. I'll face this way so you can see. So from hands and knees, we're just going to reach the heart forward, shoulder blades are drawing down the back, and then come back, hands and knees. Walk the hands back, set the soles of the feet onto the floor, hands up towards the thighs. Take a breath in, round through the back, tuck the bottom, tuck the chin. Breathe out, release the tail, gazing up, and then roll up through the body. Reaching the arms up, breathe in. Sorry, I know you can't see my head. Hands through to prayer, heart space. Lovely, let's do that again. Breathe in, nice big reach up. Breathe out, hands come onto the thighs. Lengthen the spine. Breathe in, round through the back, hug baby and lift through the pelvic floor. Breathe out, walk the hands down the legs onto the mat, the heels left, knees are out wide, come onto hands and knees. Option, take 3 cat-cows or 3 mini press-ups. So breathe in, coming down halfway or a bit less. Breathe out, keep hugging baby in if you're doing press-ups. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one, breathe in. Breathe out. And take a little up dog. So inhale, lifting the heart forward, gazing up between the eyebrows, tucking the tail. Breathe out, come back, hands and knees, walk the hands back. Set the soles of the feet onto the floor. Hands onto the thighs. Breathing and rounding through the back. Hug all the way in. Breathe out, release. And then roll up. All the way up, deep breath. Reach out the sides of the body, hands through prayer, heart space. Lovely. Let's do one more round. You're still with me. It's awesome. Let's take a breath in, reach up. Breathe out, hands come down onto the thighs. Breathe in, round through the back. Gaze towards your baby. Breathe out, walk the hands down, lifting the heels, knees open wide. Soften down hands and knees. 3 rounds of either cat-cow or press-ups. So inhale, you can just press down a little bit. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Take a little up dog lift. So breathing in, shoulder blades down the back. Breathe out. Walk the hands back to the knees. Soles of the feet flat onto the floor. Take your time. I'm aware I'm not pregnant, so I haven't got extra weight to carry, just quarantine weight. And then round through the back, take a breath in. Breathe out, release the tailbone. Gaze forward, shoulder blades drawing down the back. And then roll up. Breathing in, reach the arms. Hands through prayer, heart space. Left hand to heart, right hand to tummy. Or both hands to baby, if you'd like. So just stand still, maybe actually sway side to side. How are you feeling now? Are you noticing a change in your energy, a shift in your temperature? Do you feel a little bit more awake? Feel a little bit more fatigued? It's all just information. There's nothing good or bad, right or wrong. Just taking these moments to observe your body. Notice if your baby is communicating anything with you. Maybe you'd like to communicate with them if you're not already, just finding gratitude for this moment. Knowing that you wouldn't be doing this right now if they weren't on their way. All right. Okay, we're going to come back onto our hands and our knees. So just take a breath in and just reach the arms up really, 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 really nice and slowly. Breathe out, hands come down onto the thighs. And we're going to walk the hands down straight away onto the floor. And we're going to grab our blocks. So grab a couple of blocks or cushions, just so you've got quite a nice lift, and pop that between the heels. Between the heels, untuck the toes, we can sit back. So the bottom isn't necessarily going to be touching the heels right now, so you want to have enough lift. My face this way, just in case. I mean, my bum does, because my bum's super squishy, and no matter how much lift, it somehow manages to reach my heels. But just something to prop you up here so you don't find that you're putting lots of strain on the knees. So just a few little side stretches to create that space and a little bit of air through, well, work through the air and just create that space through your body. So the right hand's going to come onto the floor, and you're going to bring your left hand to your left ear, and your left elbow is going to reach up towards the sky. So left hand to left ear, and the elbow is lifting up here. So what we're not doing is reaching over. I know I'm exaggerating, but we're lifting. And have a little check-in with the rest of your body now. Do you find that you're puffing the chest? Do you feel that you're twisting? See if you can just line those shoulders so they are square to the front of the room. And you're knitting the ribs down. Still huggy baby in. Lifting up with that elbow. Each breath in adds a bit more length. Each breath out allows you to relax and release. Now, keeping the body how it is, see how it feels to lift the left arm up and really reach away now. Maybe you can feel a bit more energy through the top, the tips of the left hand, the fingers. And release down with that left arm and slowly come up. Swap sides. So the left hand is going to sit on, so the fingertips are resting on the floor, or use something else underneath the hand if the floor's far away. Right hand to right ear, right elbow is lifting up. So feel that space open up through the ribs, intercostal muscles. Check back in, are we puffing through the chest? Are we finding ourselves twisting? And how does this side feel compared to the other? Are we getting a little bit different information from our bodies from one side to the other? And then extend that right arm up. Energy through the tips of the fingers of the right hand. And then release the right hand down and come to center. Lovely. Take hold of opposite elbows behind the back or opposite forearms. Again, be mindful that this doesn't start to puff the chest. So draw the elbows down, shoulder blades together, and we're just going to drop the chin to the chest. Without forcing, without pushing, just let gravity do the work here. Three more breaths. Floating the head up slowly and gently. We're going to release the arms, take a breath in, reach them out. And as you breathe out, you're going to reclasp the opposite hold behind the back again. We're going to take 5 breaths, but with some pelvic floor work. So keeping the head upright. Again, visualizing the crown of the head stacking above the throat, so you're nice and still, nice and straight. Breathing in and imagining that hammock underneath your baby is lifting as you breathe in. Gentle hold at the top, breathe out. Let it release on the out breath. 4 more of those. Inhale, lift the pelvic floor without squeezing or causing any turbulence. Breathe out. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last 2. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last 1. Breathe in. And breathe out. Lovely. Hands onto the knees or hands to baby. Chin to chest. And just rock the head from side to side. Check back in with your intention. Notice as the body becomes more still, any other areas of movement right now. And bring the head to center. We're going to look over the right shoulder and then over the left. Over the right and the left. One more time to the right. And last one to the left. And head to center. Lovely. All right, come on to hands and knees. Give the legs a shake out. And we're going to come onto our bottoms and use a cushion for support if you need to. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we don't really need the support underneath the hips unless you feel that you need that. So coming onto one side, we sat onto our bottoms. We're going to take the right leg out to a little bit wider than mat's width. Move back so you can see the lovely sole of my foot. And then the left, have the left leg in. I'm going to keep it here. Now this is where, if you feel that you're rounding back now and you can't get that nice uplift, this is where you want to use a block or something to support underneath the hips, okay, or a bolster, blanket, whatever. So left hand comes onto the left foot, and the left foot is a little bit wider than hip width as well, so you can keep that knee upright. We're going to reach the right arm up, flexing the right foot, take a breath in, breathe out, and bring the right hand down to the floor. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, take your open twist. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, right hand down to the leg. Awesome. One more round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release down. Awesome. Then bring the sole of the left foot onto the inside of the right thigh. Maybe use support if you've got any, if you're really opening the hips at the moment, maybe use some support underneath that knee. And we're just going to rest the hands down onto the floor in front of us. And reaching forward with the heart, but growing through the crown of the head. So what we want to avoid, if you feel that you have the tendency to really try and pull yourself down here, it's not about that. So lifting up, imagining your heart's reaching to the top of the mat and the crown of the head's reaching up to the wall in front of you. Maybe you can work a little bit on that pelvic floor here as well. Inhaling to lift and exhaling to let go. Okay, and start releasing. We're going to swap the legs over. So you're going to straighten the left leg out. Give them a little wiggle about. And then you're going to hug the right leg in. Right hand's going to come onto the right ankle. Left foot is going to be flexed. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, open twist to the left. Inhale, lift up with the left arm. Exhale, left hand comes down to the left knee. Awesome. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, down to the leg. Nice and tall. Last round, breathe it in. Breathe out, bring it down. One more forward. and down. Lovely. Hug the right foot in towards the inner left thigh. Support underneath the left knee. And then you're going to fold forward here. Again, just to remind you to reach forward with the heart and grow through the crown of the head. 3 to 4 breaths here. Slowly start floating the body up and release the legs. And we're going to just pop the hands behind us, shimmy the hips forward, so the hands, fingers are going to be facing outwards or diagonally forwards. Feet are going to be about hips, about mat width apart, and just rock the knees from side to side. Only as much as feels comfortable here. Lovely. And we're going to start coming into Shavasana now. So laying on your left hand side. Now I don't play, I'm not going to play the music today just because it might, the sound isn't very good with the music. So on that playlist that I sent, there's a really, really nice track right at the end called Sukino Vivante. What's it called? I just had a mind block. Loka Samastar Sukinu Bhavantu, and it's the last song on that playlist which I sent, which is on this link on the chat here if you want to use any music, okay? So you just copy and paste that link and it will take you to Spotify. I am here, I'm just grabbing my book. I haven't left you. Okay, so laying on your left with support underneath the head, maybe a cushion between the knees, a blanket. If you like to lay on your back, you can do, but obviously being a little bit more upright. So using a bolster and a block, or you can pop the bolster up against a wall and you can rest here just to have the heart a little bit above baby, and that takes the pressure off the artery where baby will be laying on top of, which we don't want. So the song Loka Samasta Sukhinu Bhavantu, the literal translation of this is, may all beings everywhere be happy and free. May the words, the thoughts, and the actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and that freedom for all. So as you're resting down here, just have that in mind, and I will repeat that again because I know I said it very quickly. Have that in mind by chanting or listening to that mantra. You can move from your personal self and radiate a prayer of love for the world around us. So sharing that to all the mothers to be, or mothers who are already mothers, going to be mothers again, right here, right now, who are experiencing this amazing journey in a very different circumstance, maybe not as ideal, but radiating love and support out to one another. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May the words, the thoughts, the actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and that freedom for all. Visit places that remind you of eternity when you can. See the mountains, see the stars, walk among the ancient redwoods, stand at the ocean's door. Let nature and life remind you of eternity in ways that speak to your soul. Now, if you'd like to stay where you are for your relaxation, you can stay here, and I'll turn the video off for you so you don't have to. So it's up to you. I know it's quite a short relaxation for you, just stay there. But if you feel ready to get up, you can join me easy seated. And bring the hands into prayer. Thanking yourself for your practice. Thanking your body, thanking your mind, thanking your soul, thanking your baby. Thanking everything right here in this moment that's led you right here, right now. Cherishing this moment. And maybe honoring this moment right here, right now as your sanctuary. From my heart to your heart, may you be safe, happy, healthy, and peaceful. Namaste.